Welcome back to 4K Films Canada. In today's video, we are going to be going through my ranking of all the Pixar films. I had watched them all back in December of 2022. It's like an unintentional Pixar month, basically. After that, I did start doing monthly series and franchises type of things. Back in January, for example, I did Marvel, and then I did Westerns, and I did DC movies, but we'll get to those in future videos. But today we're just going to be focusing on the Pixar. These are all my opinions and my ranking. They're all based on, they're all on my Letterboxd at the moment, so make sure you follow me on there as well. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. There's about 26 titles. There's 26 Pixar titles. This not includes the future Elemento, is that the right what it's called? Anyways, the one that comes out this summer is not included in this list as it's not out yet, but currently there is 26 titles from Pixar. And at number 26, at the very bottom of the list, I have Incredibles 2. Now people are going to not agree with me on that one for sure, because you're going to say Cars 2 should be at the bottom, and there's some other ones that people are going to say should be at the bottom over Incredibles 2. But to me, in my opinion, Incredibles 2 is the worst Pixar movie I've ever seen in my life. So the first half of the movie, let's break it down. So the first half of the movie, I actually really enjoy. I love the more focused on Elastigirl, and it has a bit more spy, because she's breaking into places, more darker spy type feel to that film, and I really love it. And I love it more than the first one, I would say, for the first half. But for whatever reason, they brought in this bunch of new characters that have like owl heads, and I don't even know. Like, those characters are what absolutely wrecks this movie for me, in my opinion. Like, it just destroys it. I hate that part of the movie. I hate all those characters. It just, I don't know. I know it's a kids movie and it's not supposed to be realistic. Like, superheroes aren't real, but those characters just absolutely wreck this movie. I hate them all. Well, let's not say hate. I dislike them all. It just ruins it. I don't want anything to do with that movie after that part. I can't watch it after that part. So if I can't watch half the movie, then I can't really give it a good score. So, but the beginning, the first half, beautiful. I love it. But the second half, no, I can't deal with that. So at 25, we have Cars 2. Oh, sorry. Back to Incredibles 2. I forgot to give you the score I gave it on Letterboxd. I ranked my movies out of 10. So I gave it a 3 out of 10, which is a bad movie. So how my rankings kind of work is a 1-star is a terrible movie, and a 2-star is a very bad movie. Then we can move up to 3, which is a bad movie. A 4-star, which is a fine movie. Like, maybe it's not for you, but you don't hate the movie, you don't dislike the movie. And then we move up to 4. No, we're gonna move up to 5. Sorry, which is a decent movie. So about an average type movie, nothing too crazy, nothing. You know, you like some of it, you don't like, has its problems, but you like it. It's decent. Then we move up to 6, which is a pretty good movie. So it has definitely some more things that you like about it. 7, which is a good movie, which is, something that you really like that you enjoy very much, but it's not like a masterpiece or next level. Number 8 is a very good movie, so that's where we're getting more into masterful level of filmmaking. So, and you really enjoy it, and it's starting to get in there. 9 is almost perfect movie, like a very excellent made movie, but it's not perfect. Like, maybe there's 1 or 2 things that you don't like about it. And then 10, perfect movie, you wouldn't change anything about it. Perfect cinema, which is super rare, and there shouldn't be a lot of 5-star movies out there. So it should be very hard to get a 5-star. So back to number 25, we have Cars 2. So a lot of people don't like Cars 2, and I'm not a big fan of it either. I do love Cars, just in general as a kid. I loved Hot Wheel cars. I loved going to car shows. I loved playing car video games. I love everything about cars. I collected cars. I model cars and the whole thing. I love cars so much. So when Cars 1 came out, I'll get more into that depth in that later, but I loved that movie. Cars 2, I loved it as a kid as well, but rewatching it as a more cinema, like a more critical view of it, like I try not to be too critical in movies, but I try to do it more on what I enjoy. But a little bit of criticalness on this movie. It's not bad. Like, it's not a bad movie. It's just, it's not good either. And Mater, I absolutely find Mater super annoying in this film. I wanted to yell at the screen, "Shut up, Mater!" Like, I just did not like him in this film. Like, I just couldn't stand him in this. And nothing against Larry the Cable Guy. It's just in this film he was super annoying, Mater. And I think this movie could have been better if they left the first one alone. The first one, I think, in my opinion, is a good movie. I'll get to that later again, like I said. But if they Cars 2, if they went with a totally new storyline, they left Lightning McQueen, they left Lightning McQueen, they left Mater, they left Sally, they left all of Radiator Springs behind for the second film. Maybe have a couple, Easter eggs back to it, like Pixar loves to do. But they left it behind, and they actually made Cars 2 a spy movie, like a total different, all new characters, a spy movie. Leave racing out of it. I think it would have been a freaking fantastic Pixar movie. But they had to bring back Mater into it, and Mater's just annoying in it. And it's still fun for what it is, the film. But it's just not very good. It could have been a lot better if they just, like I said, just did a spy film instead. But it is what it is. So for that, I gave it a 5 out of 10, which is a decent movie. For the most part, I love the spy parts of it very much. I just didn't. Mater's like the only thing I don't really like about it, and the fact they brought Lightning McQueen into it. Like, he doesn't really do anything in it, so it's kind of pointless just to bring him back. But for what it is, it's okay. I give it a 5 out of 10 for a decent film. So Finding Dory at number 24. What am I going to say about this? It's basically the same story as the first one, just with more annoying characters in it. So there's nothing I don't really like about it. It's not original really. It's just copying the first one again. So I can't really give it a high score for that. I do enjoy it. I actually enjoy it more than I'm letting on. But again, it's a 5 out of 10. It's a decent movie, decent watch. It's a fun. I love the car part when they steal the truck, and they smash it into the ocean. Amazing. But that's all it really has going for it. At number 23, I have Cars 3. Like I said, this one has a little bit more heart to it. It goes back to the racing track. And, he tries to figure out Doc has passed away in the film. So he tries to track down his old friends. And it's more fun. It's better than the second one for sure. I said Finding Dory is actually a 6 out of 10, not a 5 out of 10. I messed it up. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. So Finding Dory is a 6 out of 10 for a pretty good movie. It's just, again, it copies the first one. Cars 3 is also a 6 out of 10. So it's about the same. It's a pretty good movie. I like the story of it. It's a fun movie, but it's nothing crazy. It's nothing great. It's nothing, anything fancy like that. Number 22, we have Monsters University. This film is pretty fun. I actually enjoy it. The characters I don't mind too much. Like, all the new characters are pretty enjoyable. They're all fun. But again, it's not as good as the first one. It's not Pixar's best. It's pretty mid Pixar. So it's nothing fancy. It's nothing too special in the world of Pixar. but I do enjoy Pixar or Monsters University for what it is, and I would go back to it if we go back to it to watch it again. So now we're at 21, which I have Lightyear. So this movie, the first time I watched it, I fell asleep. I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep probably 15-20 minutes in, and I woke up at the end credits, and I was like, well, too bad for that, But obviously, maybe it was boring I fell asleep, maybe I was just too tired to watch a movie. There's different reasons why you fall asleep. So I did rewatch it, then probably like 4 or 5 months after I first tried to watch it. And it's actually it's a pretty good movie. That's why I put it up at number 21. The story is actually pretty clever for, more of a kid's movie. He goes back in time to reverse time and then I forget his name now, but Zed guy ends up being Lightyear himself, but in the future, and it's pretty in-depth story-wise. For that reason, it's pretty good. But the main problem with this movie, is just the fact that it kind of excuse my language, but it fucks the Toy Story movies up. Now, I'm not the biggest Toy Story fan, I'll admit that. I don't really have much nostalgia for it, so I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it definitely messes up the Toy Story films. It tries not to, but it does. In the movie, he becomes a team player, but the toy in Toy Story 1, he's an alpha. He's, like an alpha male. He wants to work alone. If they actually made a toy on that, they would actually probably make, maybe I'm going too far into depth into this, but they would make him work as a team, I think, more than work alone, because that's a big part of Lightyear, is that he became a team player. And it's the same thing as Toy Story. Eventually worked as a team in Toy Story. So maybe it could line up. I don't know. I bet maybe I'm kind of talking to myself into maybe it does make sense. But yeah, I don't know. Toy Story or Lightyear Story, it's a pretty good movie. It does kind of wreck the Toy Story franchise a little bit, the series a little bit. So number 20, we have Turning Red. The first time I watched this movie, have watched this movie twice since it came out. The first time I definitely enjoyed it more than the second time. The second time, it's pretty much just mid Pixar. I do love that it's based in Canada. It's the first one. It's based in Toronto. It's amazing. It's based on Asian culture, which I obviously don't connect with personally, and it's more female culture as well, because obviously we all know Turning Red is about periods. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but we all know about that, right? It's that time of the month, so I don't connect 100% with that, but I did enjoy it. I love the music in it. The boy band is actually really good. Actually, to admit it, I did enjoy that music. The film itself is enjoyable. It's just I don't connect with it in the same way as some other people would, and it's just, to me, it's just a mid-Pixar movie. So now we're getting into number 19, which is A Bug's Life. Again, A Bug's Life, one of the earliest Pixar movies. Hasn't aged the best in the CGI way, but I still love the story. It's a pretty simple story, but I do love the characters in it. I love how they come together. All the ants finally come together to work together to get rid of what do they call them? The grasshoppers. Oh my god, I was gonna say crickets, but it's grasshoppers. They make the bird. It's a pretty fun movie. So I do enjoy it for what that is. But again, I'm kind of missing these scores, haven't I? So Monsters University, 6 out of 10. Lightyear, 6 out of 10. Turning Red is 6 out of 10. It's pretty good. And A Bug's Life, again, it's a 6 out of 10, which is a pretty good movie. So then we have Up at number 19 or number 18. People are going to hate me for this. Yes, Up is at 18. It's pretty low on the Pixar list, in my opinion. The beginning of it, masterful film making. But again, we have the dogs flying planes, and we have, overall, it's mostly just a mid Pixar movie for the most part. But the beginning part is masterful. I love the beginning of it. If that was the whole film, fuck, it'd be a 10 out of 10 star every day of the week. But that's not the whole film, unfortunately. I have to look at it as a whole, and as a whole, it doesn't work for me. So, 6 out of 10. WALL-E is at number 17. It's the same thing. Doesn't work for me. The beginning, again, is masterful. But then you bring in the people on the aircraft, spaceship. It turns into a mid-Pixar movie, so it doesn't work for me. Toy Story 4. Yeah, so back to WALL-E. The beginning, the silent part. Masterful filmmaking, master animation. But, again, as a whole, it doesn't work for me. Toy Story 4 at number 16. So Toy Story 4 is the one where it gets donated to the girl, and she goes on a camping trip. So I'm trying to remember, yeah, and they meet little Bo Peep again, and that's the one that's at the antique shop. Honestly, it's a pretty damn good movie. I do enjoy that movie. So now we go up to 15, which is The Incredibles. I never really liked this movie. Even as a kid, I was not a big fan of The Incredibles. I thought it was decent, but, you know, there's so many superhero movies out there nowadays. It's just, it doesn't live up to what it once was. There's so many better superhero movies out there. It's not my type of superhero movie. When it comes to, I like Batman, The Darkness of Batman. That is a superhero movie I want. I don't want comedy in my superhero movies. I want the world's at stake. It's not funny. People should be being hurt. There should be, not necessarily blood, but there should be actual people getting hurt. You know, like, you should see that. You should feel that. The world should actually need to be saved. But no one actually gets hurt. Who gives a shit? That's the point. Sorry, I just threw my pen by accident. Yeah, but Incredibles, I still think I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie for sure. I do enjoy it. But it definitely doesn't live up to what it used to be as a kid. Even though I never really liked it, I probably would have gave it higher than a 7. I'd probably give it an 8. But it doesn't age the best to me. There's better superhero movies out there. My superhero film taste has changed, and to be honest, I'm kind of over superhero movies at this point. So number 15 is The Incredibles with a 7 out of 10. Brave, 7 out of 10 as well. I absolutely did really enjoy Brave. The story is not the best Pixar movie, but I did really enjoy that the bear hunt is in Scotland. My family's from Scotland originally as well, so there's a connection there. But yeah, the whole bear part of the film is just incredible. They're bear hunters, and then the hunter's wife and that guy's mom turns into a bear. And it's just a beautiful story. It's not like the best Pixar movie. It's not the best Pixar story, but it is a beautiful story, and I do enjoy it for what it is. I do love just the whole. So then at number 13, we have The Good Dinosaur. The Good Dinosaur is freaking really nice movie. I love dinosaurs. It's like one of my weaknesses when it comes to movies. Anything with a dinosaur in it has my attention. But by the poster, it did look pretty goofy. But it's a heartwarming story. It is a good movie. I did enjoy it. And, you know, obviously it's a bit strange seeing dinosaurs farming. But it's Pixar. And that's why it's only a 3.5 or 7 out of 10. So I did enjoy it though. I love dinosaurs. It kind of got me. It's heartwarming and it's just a good story. So at number 12, we have Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is probably honestly, it's not my favorite Toy Story movie because I named them, but it's a beautiful Toy Story movie. I really do enjoy it. It has my favorite Toy Story character of all time, which is the Strawberry Bear. Like, I've always wanted a plushie of that when it first came out. And I was 12 when it first came out, but I still wanted that plushie. Like, I don't give a shit. It smelled like fucking strawberries, alright? But I did enjoy that movie. They are in the daycare and ends up going in the it's just a great movie, great animation. There's a great story as well on that movie. So then we have number 11, which is the original Toy Story. Again, never been a big fan of the original Toy Story. Never really have any nostalgia for the first Toy Story. It doesn't do anything for me, really. It is a good movie. You're watching it, but the animation hasn't aged the best. The story is good, but it's nothing special. I love the idea of toys coming alive when the people are not around. Like, that's a great concept. It's a good movie. It's a good story, but it doesn't do too much for me. I don't have no nostalgia for it. It's nothing too special to it, in my opinion. But it is a good movie. It is a groundbreaking for the time for CGI animation. That's basically it, though. This movie itself is not groundbreaking. It's just the animation of it was. That's just my opinion. Number 10. So we're in the top 10 now. So Toy Story's number 11. No, almost made the top 10 still. So number 10 is Onward. This movie is full of magic. To admit, though, when I first watched this movie, I just finished rewatching Harry Potter shortly. The first time I watched it, shortly before that, I finished watching Harry Potter. So it's kind of into my God, I don't know what the fuck I was saying. All the magic. I did get into that for when I watched this, so maybe that's why I kind of ranked it a bit higher than it needs to be. But Onward, great story. Great story of friendship, of brothership, and the adventure, just to do anything to see for his father. I love, this movie, I love it very much, actually. It's a very good movie. And there's a dragon in it. The end is very heartwarming and special. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't want to spoil it. But the love between the two brothers at the end is definitely special. And it's definitely a very original and good film from Pixar. Number 9, we have Luca. The first time I tried to watch this movie, again, I fell asleep. But rewatching it, it definitely is a pretty special movie. It takes place in Italy. He's a sea monster, the sea monster hunter. It's kind of similar to Brave in some aspects, maybe. But I definitely enjoy it more, and it definitely has a good story, good characters as they come together. And the little girl sacrifices herself to save her friends, even though they're sea monsters. And he proves that even though he is a sea monster, he can still ride a bike and do the triathlon. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. Good story. So number 9 is an 8 out of 10. Onward's 8 out of 10 as well, and Toy Story is a 7 out of 10. Again, I missed those, but I'm sorry about that. So now we're at number 8. 8, we have Toy Story 2. My favorite Toy Story movie. I love just the adventure to the apartment building, the elevator scene. I love the toy barn scenes as well. I love that there's 2 Buzz Lightyears in this film, and it feels more like an action type film because there's two. You have to figure out which the real one is. We've seen this before in live action movies, but to have it in a Toy Story movie, I did enjoy it, and the adventure just to get Woody back, and he introduce new Woody characters, Woody Collector. It's a really well made movie, and it's an occasion where the sequel I think is better than the original. At number 7, we have Monsters Inc. This was definitely the one that I grew up with the most for Pixar films. One of the two I grew up the most with. Like, Monsters Inc. was definitely, I had the blue VHS tape with the clear clam shell VHS case. I watched it quite a few times. I did really enjoy this film. It's a classic Pixar movie. It's just, and still very well made. It's still very well. The characters are all amazing. The story is good. It's just some newer Pixar films have more heartwarming stories that kind of nudge this one down a bit. But it's still a classic. It's still my top 10. It's still one of the best Pixar movies in just terms of fun and story. It's still a really good one. It's still one of my favorites. So number 6, Number 6, we have Finding Nemo. Again, really great movie. I do really love the cleverness of the sharks becoming fish is their friend, not food. When I was a kid, I always ran away from the sharks scenes, and I never really paid attention to what they said. But rewatching it back in December, it's super clever of the discussion that they had between Nemo and Dory and the sharks. Bruce the shark. It's pretty clever. Fish are friends, not food. And then he gets a bit of the blood, smells the blood, chases it. This is a clever movie. It's a clever dialogue throughout the movie. The sea turtles are always fun characters. Love them. It's a really good movie. Like, what can I say? It is definitely deserves a good high spot on the list, and that's why it's it's a 9 out of 10 movie. Alright, so now we have number 5 on the list, which we have Cars. Arguably, Monsters Inc. and Cars and Finding Nemo are better movies. And if you think that, I totally don't disagree with that. I totally agree with that opinion. But like I said, when I was a kid, Cars were one of my favorite things of all time. I used to sit in the back seat behind. My side was the driver's side. Behind whoever was driving, my dad or my mom, doesn't matter. And I would always pretend that I was driving with them. I would move my feet like the gas pedal, the brake pedal, blinkers. I would do that all the time. I would select my car. I always named every car I ran down the street. Toyota, Honda, Chevy, Ford, everything. So Cars, I loved Cars when I was a kid. So that is basically just the reason why it's above it. The movie's not as good as them, but for nostalgic reasons, it's higher. So don't kill me for that. I understand that they are better movies, but for that reason, they are higher on the list. So yeah, Cars is an underrated Disney movie for sure. Has absolutely great characters, great story of learning what friendship means. He doesn't need friends. Lightning McQueen thinks he's a lone ranger, basically. He doesn't need friends. He doesn't need help from anybody. And he learns responsibility. He learns friendship. He learns lots of crucial skills and life lessons. Back in Radiator Springs, he meets Sally. He meets his best friend, Mater. It's a beautiful movie. Definitely underrated. Of course, there's like the Miata flashing, which is an iconic scene. But it's just a great movie. Definitely a great story. Definitely deserves a spot on a top 10 list for Pixar. and that's why it's number 5 with a 9 out of 10. Excellent movie. Number 4 is we have Soul. Just an absolutely great movie of maybe you work so hard to get somewhere and you just don't enjoy the time you had. Like, he worked so hard to get something, but he didn't enjoy the time he had. He didn't enjoy what he was doing at that moment. He got to where he wanted, and it's not what he thought it was. It was like, oh, this is all? It's a very clever story, a very original story for Pixar, and I definitely love it, and I definitely think it's one of their best for sure, and I definitely think everyone should watch it. Great adventure between, I forget what number she was. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. But from Soul and the cat, great story. She learns all the great small things in life that are worth living, like the leaves, and there's so many things, like the bottle cap, the pizza, the taste of that pizza. Enjoy the small things. And there's like 2 different great stories going on at once there. Super clever, and love that movie. Number 3, we have Inside Out. What can I say? This movie is absolutely incredible. It's super hilarious, super fun, but it's also the emotions and learning that sadness and joy can go together, and sadness is an important part of life, and they can be fun. There can be life important moments as well. You can have mixed emotions about stuff. It's just there's a lot. You can go a lot deeper into this movie if you wanted to. I don't have time in this review. I don't want to make this video too long, but it's just a really deep movie, deep theme and story behind this film. Very clever, and definitely easily top 3 Pixar, and it's a 9 out of 10 as well. Excellent movie. Number 2, we have Coco. When I first watched it, I only gave it an 8 out of 10. But even since I watched it in December, it's the one that stuck with me the most. And I just keep thinking about it once in a while. And honestly, the music is absolutely great in there. It's just a fantastic movie. I love that movie so much. There's so much. It's just such a fun movie. And I definitely recommend watching it if you haven't. The soundtrack's great, the story's great, the characters are great. Meeting your idols. He met his idol, it's not who he thought he was. Thought it was his dad. I don't know. He stole the music. Oh, it's just so good. And I definitely recommend watching it. But number 1, at the very top of the Pixar list, is Ratatouille. So Coco was a 9 out of 10 as well. It's an excellent movie. But again, it's not perfect. Masterful. Ratatouille, number 1. My all-time favorite, all-time best Pixar movie, in my opinion. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect film. The characters, the story, the meaning behind the story. Anybody can cook. It doesn't matter where you came from. And it's just beautiful film. Beautiful film. It has great cinematography in it as well, with the rats hanging in the storefront and the rain falling down. Excellent made movie. Has adult themes in it, but it's also very entertaining for kids and adults. It's just the perfect film, and nothing can beat it at Pixar. I don't think any Pixar movie will ever beat this. It's an absolute masterpiece. But yeah, that's the whole ranking of my Pixar films. You can follow me on Letterboxd and follow the ranking there. I also will have reviews. I'm trying to catch up on my reviews on Letterboxd. I'm a bit behind right now, but I will have reviews out there eventually. I did have a very, very good one for Ratatouille, but somehow I accidentally deleted it, and I don't know what I said now. But follow me on Letterboxd, follow me on Instagram. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And please let me know your ranking in the comments below of the Pixar films. And thanks for watching.